Hi, my name is Ellen and I'm Associate at Aston Social. Welcome to the very first Aston Social Lab. This is going to be a series of short masterclasses, just taking you through the various aspects of social media, a few tips and tricks. A little bit about myself. I've been at Aston Social now for 7.5 years. Started off in the role of social media manager and now at associate level. Over my time at Aston, I've been doing all sorts of bits and pieces to do with social media, from social media content creation to community management, reporting and analytics, advertising. So basically everything that's revolves around the world of social media, I've been involved with. And more recently, in last year, actually, I became a Facebook certified marketing associate. So I'm really excited to share a lot of the things that I've learnt with Facebook ads with you. And that's what this first session will entail. And we'll be looking at what makes up the structure of a Facebook ad, which is one thing that a lot of our clients have had a bit of trouble sort of understanding because it can be quite confusing. There are various levels, which I'll take you through now. So I'll just share my screen with you all. So yes, we'll be looking at the various levels of what makes up a Facebook ad campaign. So what we'll learn today is what makes up the ad campaign and the 3 different levels, as I just mentioned. First level being the campaign level. Second being the ad set level. So that's your audiences. Next up is the ad level, and that's the 3rd and final level of the ad campaign. And that's the creative essentially. Number 5 is creating multiple ad sets. So that's advertising to more than one audience. So within one campaign, you can advertise to multiple different groups of people. And then once we knuckle through that, I'll take you through the ad structure on a few other social media platforms, including Google and LinkedIn. So what makes up the structure of a Facebook campaign? A Facebook campaign has 3 levels. So the first one is your campaign. That's your ad objective, or your campaign objective rather. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Second is the ad set level. So as I said earlier, these are your audiences. And lastly, your ad, so your creatives. All levels must be developed for the campaign to be able to run. So let's take a look at the top level, the campaign level. This is where you set the campaign objective. Think of it like the foundation of your campaign. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Do you want to send people to your website? Do you want people to complete a contact form? Do you want people to purchase an item? That's what you need to think about before you create the campaign. What is it that you want to achieve? Now, when it comes to creating or choosing the campaign objective rather, Facebook brings up this screen with 3 different types of objective themes. First one on the left there being awareness, followed by consideration and conversion. Now I'll take you through what each of these mean. So under the awareness category, there's brand awareness, which is pretty self-explanatory. That's just showing your ad to as many people as possible to help with brand recall. And what you're essentially paying for is cost per ad recall estimate. So out of all the people who have viewed your ad, how many of them are more likely to remember you after seeing the ad? Second one is reach, and that one is basically just showing your ad, or serving your ad rather, to as many people as possible. So the whole point of it is just to spread the word about a particular message. Under the consideration category, there's a few different ones to choose from. The first one is probably the most popular, and that's traffic. And this is essentially sending people to your website for a particular purpose. The second one is engagement. So this could be to either grow page likes on your page, or for engagement. So comments, likes, and shares on a post, essentially a boosted post. Following that is app installs. Again, pretty self-explanatory. That's getting people to install your app on their phone. The call to action button, I think, takes you to the App Store. Video views, again, pretty self-explanatory. That's increasing the number of people who are viewing your video, and that's a cost per through play. So people who have a through play is people who have watched your video for 15 seconds or the full length of the video, whichever comes first. Following that is lead generation. So that brings up a form within the Facebook ad for people to submit their details, and then you can collect all sorts of bits and pieces of data from email addresses to phone numbers to build your own database. And then the last one in this category is messages, and that's getting people to send you a message through Facebook Messenger to start a conversation. And then under the conversion category, number 3 there on the right, the first one is conversions. So you're paying for someone to actually complete an action on your website. So you might send them there, and when they make a purchase, that could be a conversion. Them submitting a contact form could be a conversion. Them simply adding to their cart or initiating the checkout, that could be a conversion. Followed by that is catalog sales. Now, this is a little bit different to conversions. This is through your Facebook shop. So this is when someone makes a purchase through your Facebook shop, you're paying for that conversion rather than the conversion on your website. And then the very last one, which probably wouldn't be used as much, especially now in this COVID world, is store traffic. And that's getting people to actually come and visit your physical shop location. So those are the various campaign objectives to choose from on Facebook. From my experience, the more common ones are traffic and conversions, because most people these days want to send people to their website to take a particular action. Now, second level is the ad set level. These are your audiences. An ad set essentially tells your ad how it wants to run. So it includes your budget, how much you actually want to spend, the time frame of the campaign, whether it's 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, your target audience, so who exactly are the people that you want to reach, and the placements. So on Facebook, there's a number of different placements you could have. There's Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger, and then all the various places within those platforms that you can show your ads. So, newsfeed, stories, reels now on Instagram. So there's all sorts of different places. It's recommended that you choose automatic placements to get the best possible reach. Lastly, the ad level, the most fun level, because that's where your creative sits. This essentially tells your customer, tells Facebook what you want your customers or your audience to see. So this is where you choose your ad creative, which includes images, carousel, videos, and collections. For those of you who might not be aware, a collection is an ad type which is fairly new to the Facebook ad space. It essentially brings up a brochure, so it'll show as an image with a couple of small images below it. And when someone clicks on this ad, it opens up into a brochure on their screen, whether it's on the desktop or on mobile, with more information. There's more photos, more videos you can include, and more chunks of text with more call to action buttons to take them to your website or wherever it is you want to send them. So that's your ad level. Now we're going to take you through creating multiple ad sets. So this is effectively different audiences. So within one campaign, you can have multiple ad sets. And within each ad set, you can have multiple ads. So one campaign overall, multiple ad sets or audiences, and then multiple ads showing to your audience. So I'm going to take you through an example. This is just a mock-up one that I've made within our Ads Manager account. So you can see at the top there's 3 tabs: campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And that's what I've just taken you through just now. So we're looking at the campaign level to begin with. So at the campaign level, you can see the delivery status. In this case, it's switched off, just for example's sake. So that means that the ad isn't serving. When it says on, that means your ad's live. The overall budget that's been selected. So in this example, it is $700 over a lifetime. You could also have a daily budget if you wish to do so. You can also see the number of results. So whether it's number of clicks to the website, number of purchases, number of leads, number of page likes, depending on your campaign objective. You'll also see the reach, so the number of people who have seen your ads, the unique number rather, impressions, so that's the total number of times your ad has been seen, cost per result, so how much it costs to achieve that click, to achieve that lead, to achieve that purchase, to achieve that page like. And then you'll also see the amount spent so far. One thing to kind of keep in mind that I've noticed a few people kind of forget to do is to make sure that you've set the right time frame at the very top of the Ads Manager page. If you've got the time period that's before the campaign started, all of your results will show 0. And some people tend to get a bit nervous thinking, why isn't my campaign running? Well, it is, you just haven't selected the right dates. So one thing to keep in mind. And then at the ad set and ad levels, we'll break this down into further detail. So let's look at the ad set for this campaign. So the second tab here. At the ad set level, results are broken down per audience. So you can see here in this example, we've got 2 example ad sets. One is SMEs and the second one is marketing managers. You'll be able to tell which audience is delivering more results, achieving more impressions and getting the most bang for buck. So you can compare, one ad set might be getting more clicks, more impressions compared to the other. That means it's performing better. You may want to switch the other one off. Again, it comes down to what your objective is. There's no limitations to how many ad sets you can have. You could have 1, you could have 10. Again, that kind of comes down to your budget. And they can also be location-based or custom audience-based. For example, you may want to target the people on your mailing list. You may have a special offer that you want to present to them. You might also want to target people who have visited a particular web page on your website. There's all sorts of different custom audiences you could do. And then there are also lookalike audiences. So you may want to target someone who looks like someone that's on your mailing list. So a lookalike audience essentially finds people who look like a custom audience that you've already created. Then at the ad level, the very last level, when you select on one of your ad sets, it then takes you to this level. From here, you can see which ads are performing best for each audience and make changes based on your findings. It's recommended to have more than one ad within each ad set, so you can see what is resonating more with your audience. You might have one image, one video, one carousel, and you might find, look, the video is performing better than the others. So you might switch off the others and then create another video ad, maybe with different creative or with different text. And it's a continual process to see what resonates with your audience and also to keep it interesting and fresh. Because if you're running the same ad, say over the course of a month, it might run a little bit dry because people have seen it that many times. It may lose its effectiveness. So it's good to keep on top of these to keep them fresh and exciting for your audience. And like the ad sets, there's no limitations to how many ads you can have. You could have one ad, but as I just said, you should probably have more than one, at least 2, or you could have 10. The optimal amount is between 4 and 5. So in summary, there's one campaign, multiple ad sets or audiences, and then multiple ads showing to those audiences. So if you think about how we were looking at it before, those 3 tabs, campaign, ad set, ad, this is how it's sort of broken down if you looked at it in a chart. Now that we've looked at that, let's take a quick look at the ad structure on other social media platforms. So looking at Google to begin with, Google Ads also runs a similar 3-tier structure to Facebook. They're just named slightly differently. So rather than campaign on Google, it's ad campaign level. Below that is the ad group level. So rather than ad set, it is ad group. And again, that's where you choose your audience, your budget, your time frame, all of those aspects that tell your campaign how to run. And then lastly, the ad level. And on Google, the ad types are a little bit different to Facebook. There's search campaigns, display campaigns, video, which is YouTube essentially. So that's the ad level. So same 3-tier system, just structured, or not structured differently, named a little bit differently to suit the platform. LinkedIn's another big one that a lot of our clients advertise on. It also runs a 3-tier campaign structure, but also named very differently just to keep you on your toes. The top level is the campaign group. So again, this is your objective, and a lot of the objectives on LinkedIn are very similar to what's on Facebook. Second level is your campaign. So again, your audience and your placements. And then lastly, your ads. So thanks for listening. Hope you were able to learn something new in this very first masterclass. If you've got any questions, feel free to write them in the Q&A box as part of the webinar. If you have any other questions at another time, don't hesitate to reach out. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you at the next Aston Social Lab.